Ravens Wrap is sponsored by Bud Light, jctickets.net, Geico Insurance, Dunaway Furniture, Ocean City Golf Club, RussellStreetReport.com, Comfort Inn Gold Coast, Holiday Inn Express, BuyAToyota.com, your official site for Toyota deals. The original Green Turtle, hosted by the Blue Ox Bar and Grill.
And welcome back. It is the original Green Turtles Ravens Wrap Show. We're all over the place now. Comcast Speech TV, WMBT TV Channel 47, and 93.5 The Beach. We're all over the place, and we're glad to be back for another year, 7th year for me, and maybe a little bit longer for you guys. Well, I know it's longer for you, Bruce, and Bobby as well. Bruce Laird, former Baltimore Colt, all-pro safety, back on the set. Welcome back again, sir, for
Thank you, Michael.
week number 2.
Good to be here.
Also from the Endless Golf and Resort Golf Guide TV shows, Bobby Vermillion as well.
Good to be back.
Guys, we have some people to thank. Of course, the Blue Ox Bar and Grill coming to you from the beautiful Ravens Room. And if you haven't been down here yet, you've got to come down. It's a beautiful room. Take a bunch of pictures. There's nothing like it on the peninsula. We've got Ravens ticket giveaways. We've got hotel stays for the weekends that you can stay. Also, we've got Bud Light prize packages. And we want to thank Ravens fans for coming down, including Ravens Roost 44. Give yourselves a hand. The Ravens Wrap Show brought to you by, of course, the original Green Turtle, the Blue Ox Bar and Grill, our friends at Bud Light, Comfort Inn Gold Coast, Geico, RussellStreetReport.com, the official website of Ravens Wrap. Also, the Ocean City Golf Club, jctickets.net, which provide us the Ravens tickets that we give away throughout the season. And if you're looking to go to Oriole playoff games, they've got your tickets, jctickets.net. Holiday Inn Express at Northside at Ocean City, Dunaway Furniture, and BuyAToyota.com. Also, you can like us on Facebook, Ravens Wrap at the Blue Ox, and our website is ravenswrap.com. All right, guys, let's get to it. A lot of news and notes before we delve into the Carolina Panthers. Dennis Pitta put on IR, done for the year. The Ravens promoted tight end Philip Supernall from the practice squad. Sure, you don't know a lot about him, but he is familiar with Gary Kubiak's playbook from their time together with the Houston Texans. He was signed with the Texans in 2012 after going undrafted out of a small university in Arkansas where he was a 4-year starter. The Ravens re-signed wide receiver Deontay Thompson, cut Fitzgerald Toussaint, the running back. Toussaint expected back on the practice squad, but on Wednesday they cut Thompson and signed former San Diego Charger defensive end Lawrence Guy, that is, excuse me. Yeah, that would be weird if it was a Lauren guy, wouldn't it? So they bring another defensive lineman in, and we are short at that position. So we'll see what happens there. Also, inside linebacker Josh Bynes on the practice squad. He had an opportunity, thanks to the Stephen Tulloch ACL dance injury, that he's joining the Detroit Lions because he's going to start at linebacker for him. Left tackle Eugene Monroe had minor knee surgery. He's going to be out several weeks. James Hurst, the undrafted free agent out of North Carolina, is going to get the start Sunday in Baltimore against the Carolina Panthers. Now, if you're wondering, what are we going to do for backup tackle? Don't forget, Kelechi Osemele in 2012 played right tackle before they moved into left guard when they brought Bryant McKinney on board and moved Michael Orr to right tackle. Also, Marsha Yanda is capable of playing right tackle in a backup situation if need be. Bernard Pierce, who was out Sunday, he's back at practice. He's back at practice on Wednesday, our day taping this program. Jimmy Smith, Terrell Suggs, Chris Canny, Timmy Jernigan, though, did not practice on the first day of camp. So, lots of news and notes. A lot of news and notes. All right, the AFC North. Cincinnati's at 3-0. Okay, the Ravens are at 2-1. Pittsburgh's at 2-1. Cleveland's at 1-2. The Steelers rolled over the Carolina Panthers, who we play Sunday, by a score of 37-19. Cleveland, of course, lost to us. And Cincinnati, they had a win over Tennessee. They have given up an average of just 11 points in 3 games, and they have averaged over 25 points over the first 3 games. We know that they are the pride of the AFC North right now. But the great thing, guys, in our division, the Ravens 2-1. We've played the most division games. Cincinnati's only played 1. Pittsburgh's 1-1, and Cleveland's 0-2.
And Mike, you talked about schedule in the program here, where we are actually the only team in the NFL that had 3 division games back to back. Back to back. And that's right. Nobody else has done that. So I know when the schedulers go through their scheduling, I can't imagine what that hodgepodge must be like to put all that together. But this is a situation where right now we control our own destiny. And remember, we got Carolina at home. Panthers played poorly on defense at their place against Pittsburgh, giving up 200-yard rushers. So, as Bobby said, it is a week-to-week league. Don't expect that again. But therefore, if they can beat Carolina and then they go on the road for 4 out of their next 5, it's going to be an interesting stretch if we can go 3-1. 3-1.
Yeah, obviously a week in a game that we've got to win. If you're a Ravens fan, you put this on the calendar. Obviously, you're looking at the storyline with Steve Smith and playing the Carolina Panthers. But I think one of the other storylines has to be Cam Newton. He's a guy that's been banged up and hasn't really been himself. And the Carolina Panthers are faced with a lot of injuries as well, Mike.
No, they certainly are. Guys, let me throw out some stats with the Carolina Panthers. They're 2-1. They defeated Tampa Bay, who's not very good. They beat a Detroit team at home that came off that Monday night game that they played, the New York Giants. It looked phenomenal. They did a good job against Detroit winning that game. Yes, they didn't look good against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're 2-1. But here's some quick stats for you. They've scored first in all 3 games. 2 of those 3 were field goals in the second quarter. Their defense, okay, has given up just 9 points in 3 games in the first quarter, and all 9 came against the Steelers on field goals. Also, they've only turned over the ball 2 times in 3 games this year, so that number is good for them. Now, a number that stands out, though, 20 penalties, though, in 3 games, and they had 10 against the Steelers, also 8 sacks in 3 games. So it's a team that is throwing the football. And, guys, Bruce, let me start with you. They've got all brand-new receivers from last year's playoff team, this year, I should say. None of the receivers back. Steve Smith's with us, but nobody is back from last year.
I know that, depleted everybody. I think they brought one name guy back that they got.
I'm sorry, Greg Olsen, the tight end.
Yeah, Greg Olsen.
They got Cotchery.
Cotchery, that's the one I was thinking.
Well, he came from Pittsburgh.
Right,
he came from Pittsburgh, so they found one veteran. And that's the only name that I recognize.
And Jason Avant they got from Philadelphia as a third down type guy.
Okay,
Yep.
so they got those guys, and their tackles are somewhat suspect. The Carolina offensive tackles aren't really household names. So Suggs and Dumerville should be able to put some pressure on him. Cam Newton's been hurt. He had the ribs and everything else. They say just is not moving very well. So again, this is a home game. It's at M&T Stadium, and they got to put the pressure on Cam Newton and that offense because, as you just mentioned, this Carolina defense can play well.
Bobby, let me start with the offense, though, back to the Ravens for a second. No Dennis Pitta, okay? No Eugene Monroe at left tackle. You're starting a rookie in James Hurst there. Your level of concern going in against Carolina, who has not been good against the run this year. Surprisingly, they were terrible against the pass last year. Somehow this year, they're pretty good, though, against the pass.
Well, they are, and I tell you, this team is coming off an embarrassing performance against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So they're going to be a team that's, out to prove that they're not as bad as they looked against the Steelers. And I think the Ravens, again, they've got some issues on the offensive side of the ball. Losing Pitta, losing your left tackle, that's huge for an offense. And you're going to see a Carolina team that's pumped up. You think Steve Smith has been waiting for this game? Well, believe me, they've been waiting for this game as well. So they're out to redeem themselves. They want to show that they're a pretty good football team. They're playing 2 AFC North teams back-to-back, which are physical teams in the Steelers and the Ravens, and they better have their A game because I tell you what, the Ravens better not overlook this team because they're going to come to play on Sunday for sure.
Agreed. I think this is actually a trap game. You go 2-1
100%.
in the division. You come off a great win at Cleveland. You steal a division game on the road. You come back home confident. But let's not too confident. There's a lot of stuff to correct.
You know what? The only thing that keeps this Raven team on its feet is they got to watch that tape from that Cleveland game. And both offensively and defensively, there was enough mistakes in there, enough technical things, along with the missed tackles.
Yes.
And tackling, ladies and gentlemen, someone told me a long time ago, if you want to tackle, you'll tackle. And tackle is a mental state. You have to understand you put your head somewhere around the waist and the chest, and you wrap your arms up, and sometimes it's not pretty, and sometimes it hurts. But if you really want to tackle, you'll tackle. If you're flying at someone's legs and just flopping around, is what it always tells you is just the guy didn't really want to tackle. He made it look like he wanted to hit somebody, but he really didn't want to. So they got to start taking care of business when they catch the short passes on our Raven defense. They got to swarm to the ball, they got to chase and follow, and they got to wrap up and tackle people.
I would expect to see some sweeps, which at times we had trouble with against the Cleveland Browns. Also,
They got the edge.
wide receiver screens as well. And Bobby, look, you look at this receiving core. Kelvin Benjamin, the rookie out of Florida State, he could get down the field. He's a burner.
He's legit.
He's legit. And Jimmy Smith should be able to lock him up. Jimmy Smith's played well. We don't have to worry about Smith in the secondary. But Greg Olsen, Jericho Cotry, and Jason Avant. Not names that come off like, oh my gosh, we got to be super concerned. But our secondary, folks, isn't that good right now, and Ladarius Webb is not in game shape, so we can't overlook even maybe an average wide receiver core right now.
And you got to take a guy like Cam Newton and get him off the spot, move him around a little bit, particularly if he's not feeling well. If those ribs are sore, you've got to get to him, you've got to hit him, you've got to make him think a little bit, because he's a guy with a lot of talent. You can't let him scramble out of the pocket and make yards with his feet, and definitely put some pressure on him, and it gets back to Suggs and Doomerville.
Well, Bruce, that's the question. Did the Ravens blitz in this game, or did they just rush for, hope Suggs and Doomerville get there, because of the fact that Cam Newton is certainly capable of taking off of the ball if you blitz and leave open gaps if he's able to get by the initial rush?
That's a good one, Mike. It's going to be a little catch-22 for Dean Pease and his entire staff, because when you see the Ravens rush four, no matter who they are, whether it's rushmen, the guys on three-point stance, or backers, or corners, they have not really been successful except for Doomerville twice all year. I don't know how many sacks we have overall, but Suggs has had Zippo and Doomerville's had 2, and I think we've got a couple of hurries from the interior linemen. But the edges are come like this from those guys, and then you got to pressure the middle, especially with Cam Newton. So
all right.
that's number one question right there.
Got about 50 seconds. Bobby, get your prediction and how you think the game's going to go.
Well, you got to believe the Ravens have the edge in this game, and I haven't looked at the quote point spread, but I got to believe the Ravens win by 10, so I'm going to call it 30-20 Ravens.
Wow. Well, I'm going to go 28-21 Ravens. I think the Ravens will come to play, and they should beat them by 7.
I like the Ravens in this game. I think it could be a trap game, but I will go with the Ravens 23-17 in this one at home. But do not overlook this Carolina team. But you get this win at 3-1, and hopefully it's a team that's getting a little bit better. Let's watch that secondary, and let's hope the run game, and let's hope our left tackle, James Hurst, does well. And we'll find out.
Who?
Yeah. All right. Thanks. Go Ravens. We're back next week. The Ravens Wrap Show. Comcast Beach TV, WMDT, and 93.5 The Beach. Keep it here.
In April 1959, Art Wall won the Masters, edging out Carey Middlecoff and Arnold Palmer by finishing birdie, 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 par birdie. 1 month later, Ocean City Golf Club celebrated the opening of their first 18 holes. That course has been transformed now into one of the most scenic golf layouts on the East Coast. Come experience 36 of the most beautiful and challenging holes you'll find anywhere. Ocean City Golf Club in Ocean City, Maryland.
Come see us at Blue Ox.
Welcome to the Comfort Inn Gold Coast. Conveniently located just 1 block from the beach and adjacent to shopping at the Gold Coast Mall and the movie theater. Newly renovated and open year-round with a marvelous bayfront view. Visit us on the web at comfortgoldcoast.com and see our hot deals and great golf packages, or simply call our direct reservation line to plan your stay.